Samantha, where are you going? You going to ride? Well, don't go alone. Let Auntie Peggy go with you. Peggy, Samantha wants to ride. Just be careful, girl. Hey, boys and girls. Oh, you're here with us today. Well, it's not Auntie Peggy today. It's Uncle Duffy. But we will still have fun. I'm looking at Samantha going and take a ride there. It just reminds me, these little girls and little boys just like you could be so lively, so energetic. I remember in the story, not a story so much, but this happened with Samantha last week. She was busy this day, bubbling, energetic, lively, up and down all day. So much so it could get mothers tired and it could give daddies headache. It was that evening, Mommy was going to put Samantha to bed because it was a long day. And she did that. Took her upstairs, tucked her in her pink pajamas, and laid her in bed. Mommy creeped downstairs and thought, oh Lord, at last I could get some peace. At last I could get some rest. So Mommy decided to take a little lie down on the couch. And she lay down for a bit and started even dozing off. But just as she was about to, just as about her eyes were about to close, she saw the door to the dining room opening, slowly, softly, quietly. For a while she was frightened because she thought, is there a burglar in the house? Is there a thief coming in? Did she lock the doors? But before she could think anymore, she saw behind the door coming through little Samantha in her little red pajamas, tiptoeing through, coming into the dining. Mother did not move. Mother did not even wink. Mother pretended to be asleep, closing her eyes and peeking through just one eye to see just what Samantha was going to do. She saw Samantha tiptoeing towards the dining room table. Let me tell you about that table. Upon that table, there was a huge bowl of fruits. Man, it had everything. It had, I remember, bananas, there were some oranges, there were some big mangoes, there were grapes, I remember seeing strawberries. I think Samantha had her eyes on those grapes all day, and she thought maybe now was the time. Mother kept quiet and she just peeped and saw Samantha tiptoeing towards that big bowl of fruits. Seeing her place her hand and grabbing these bunch of grapes, a huge bunch of grapes, and then tiptoeing away. Mother, you could imagine, she was really sad. She wondered, what could she do? What could she say? There it is, her little Samantha, actually waiting until she's not looking to go and take something, to go and steal. Mother was upset. She was hurt. But not before long, she looked again and she saw the dining room door opening again. She again stayed quiet, only to see Samantha tiptoeing, coming through slowly and quietly towards the table again. With this big bunch of grapes in her hand, she tiptoed towards the table and placed the bunch of grapes right back in place where she took it from. And with a loud voice, Samantha said, "Get thee behind me, Satan, get thee away, for I don't want anything at all to do with you today." That was Samantha. And Samantha turned around and darted towards the door to head back upstairs. But not before Mother was there with her arms open wide to grab her, to hold her, to hug her. Mother cried and said, "Oh Lord, Samantha, you overcame today. You were victorious over temptation." Oh boy, Mother felt so happy. Even Samantha herself, you could imagine. They had a lovely evening that day. I won't forget that time. But I think when I look back, I wondered what was happening with Samantha. I could imagine while she was climbing that steps going up to bed, the devil was that voice that was speaking to her and saying, "Samantha, those grapes on the table, they're lovely, they're luscious, they're red, they're ripe, they're juicy, they're lovely. Go and have it. It's all right. It's good to have it. No one will see you. Mother won't know. Go ahead." That was the devil speaking to her. But yet, there was this still small voice Samantha could have heard saying, "No, Samantha, how could you do that? It is wrong. It is not right. Mother will be hurt." Samantha listened to that still voice that day, it seems. And she was able to turn around and do what she did. She was victorious that day. She won over temptation. You know, God is so loving. God is so loving, boys and girls, that He gave His only Son, Jesus, to come and die for us, only to help us in those times, even now, when we are tempted. Samantha overcame temptation. Why? Because she listened to the still voice, and she also asked Jesus for help. And Jesus will always help us whenever we are tempted. You know, we will all get tempted at times, boys and girls. At some point in time, you, the mummies, the daddies, you, your uncles, your aunties, everyone will be tempted. But what we mustn't do is to turn to Jesus and ask Him for help, because we cannot do it of our own strength, and Jesus will help us. So remember, God loves us. He sent His Son to die for us, and Jesus will help us. Just remember that, boys and girls. Bye.